You've probably already used Google today. Maybe for a quick search, to watch a video, or just to check your email. We see that clean, simple search bar all the time. But behind that lies this massive, unbelievably complex company. They've even been called an everything company. So today, we're going to pull back that curtain and really get into what makes this tech giant tick.
And look, when a source like the BBC calls it the most powerful company in the world, you gotta pay attention. Its parent company, Alphabet, is consistently one of the most valuable brands on the entire planet. This really isn't just about a search engine anymore. It's a genuine global force.
But, it didn't start that way. It started, believe it or not, as a university research project. So how on earth does that happen? How do you go from a college dorm room to a sprawling digital empire? Let's trace that incredible path. Okay, so it all kicks off in 1996, and it wasn't even called Google yet. It was a Stanford research project with the kind of funny nickname Backrub. But things moved fast. By 2005, they make what might be the single best deal in tech history, grabbing Android for just $50 million. A year later, they snap up YouTube. And by 2015, the whole thing was so massive they had to create an entirely new parent company, Alphabet, just to keep it all organized.
And this list right here, this reveals a key part of Google's DNA. It's a buy, don't build strategy. I mean, think about it. So many of their most iconic products weren't actually invented at Google. They were bought. Android, YouTube, the core ad technology from DoubleClick, even parts of Maps from Waze. These weren't just random purchases. They were the very building blocks of the empire.
So building an empire with smart acquisitions is one thing. But what pays for all of it, right? What's fueling this massive machine? Well, to understand that, we have to go down into the engine room. Advertising.
The sheer scale of this engine is, well, it's frankly mind-boggling. Let's just look at one number from their 2024 SEC filing. $350 billion in revenue in a single year. That number alone tells you almost everything you need to know about the economic power we are talking about.
So where does an enormous sum like that actually come from? Let's follow the money. This chart breaks it all down. A massive 65% of it comes straight from Google search. Now, add in YouTube ads and their ad network, and you're at a staggering 87% of services revenue coming directly from advertising. In other words, almost all the free stuff we use every single day is paid for by this one incredibly powerful engine. And the magic ingredient that makes this all work is something called performance advertising. See, this isn't just about showing you a pretty ad. The whole point is to get you to do something, to click a link, to buy a product, to sign up for a service. It's basically a nonstop global auction for your attention, and it is the absolute financial bedrock of the entire company. But here's the thing. When you have a money printing machine like that ad engine, you don't just sit on the cash. You use it to build what comes next. And that's why Google is pushing so aggressively into two other key areas, selling its power to other businesses through Google Cloud and placing these high-risk, high-reward other bets on the future. Okay, first, Google Cloud. This is basically Google's answer to Amazon and Microsoft in the giant cloud wars. They're taking the exact same incredibly powerful infrastructure that runs search and YouTube, and they're renting it out to other companies. This is everything from AI development platforms and cybersecurity to massive data analytics. It is their major play for the future of business computing, and it's a huge area of growth. And then, beyond the cloud, you get to what might just be the most fascinating part of Alphabet, the other bets. This is the company's official moonshot factory. They take on these incredibly ambitious, almost science fiction level projects that are aimed at solving huge global problems. They're absolutely high risk, for sure, but if just one of them pays off, the reward could literally change the world. And we're not just talking about ideas in a lab somewhere. These are becoming real businesses. Waymo is already running fully autonomous paid taxi services in major U.S. cities. At the same time, other ventures are tackling these immense challenges in healthcare and life sciences. Every single one of these is an investment in trying to find the next Google. But here's the flip side. When you become an empire that touches pretty much everything, you inevitably attract a ton of scrutiny. Operating at this scale creates enormous challenges. This concentration of power has led to some really serious problems, and it's forcing the company to look for its next big thing, artificial intelligence.
And the biggest challenge by far is antitrust. In the US, the Department of Justice claims Google illegally protected its monopoly in search and advertising. And in a landmark decision in August 2024, a court actually agreed with them. Now, for its part, Google says it's going to appeal, arguing that its success comes from making better products, not from shutting out the competition.
And this pressure is not just coming from the United States. This is a global battle. The European Union has already hit Google with more than 8 billion euros in fines for its business practices in shopping, Android, and advertising. It's a really clear signal of a worldwide regulatory pushback against the company's incredible power.
So you're facing all these challenges. How do you navigate the future? Well, the answer, in their own words, is AI. Their 2024 financial report calls AI a profound platform shift and states a very clear goal: to build the world's most advanced and responsible AI. They see it as the next fundamental layer of technology, just as important as the web and mobile were before it.
And that brings us to the central tension of Google's entire future. The company is pouring billions into AI, weaving it into every single product, hoping it's going to be their next great engine of growth. But that very same power is what attracts regulators and creates enormous new risks. So it all leaves us with one crucial question to think about. Is AI Google's ultimate product or its greatest risk?